Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Nambi Talk Show. Really having a nice other privilege to introduce to you Disan Kato. Disan Kato is a gospel singer. My whole interaction with him one Sunday morning, I was watching UBC, and we always have that National Children Thanksgiving Gala event that is always on the 24th of November. So I got to call him. His telephone was he had put his telephone number at the end of the music. I think that time I heard the song called Winners. Winners, one of my best songs, that gospel songs that he sings. So I knew that probably if he came on board, he would be able to sing with the children, and this would be a nice song depictive of the lyrics of it, of the lives of the children. I'm sure I would play this song in this show. So Disan, welcome to the Nambi Africa Talk Show platform.
Thank you.
And dear viewers, he has a very, very inspirational life story. He's the embodiment of a very, very inspirational and strong spirit. As you're going to hear about his personal story. Before I called him, I didn't know that actually his life story is just like the same, like the children, the vulnerable children that we try to empower and bring up in the Nambi Children Initiatives NGO. So welcome to the show.
Thank
and just to say, my producer likes this question: who is Disan Kato? Though I think you shouldn't be able to blow your own trumpet, but blow it nevertheless.
No, that's a wide question.
Yeah, tell us who you are and where you come from.
First of all, I'm a man. I'm 29 years old. I'm married. I'm a gospel musician, as you say. And I want to say I'm a Christian by faith, because I believe in God and I trust Him for my life and everything I do. So I put God first in everything I do. So maybe just a bit of me. I come from Western Uganda, in the district of Shema, from a place called Mashiruka. That's where I was born, where I was raised up. As an orphan, I lost my parents at the age of 3 years old. That was after my parents married, they had 2 children who died before I was born. And then I came up. 3 years down the road, they also died with the same symptoms, because by then HIV was not very clear to people. They didn't know much.
Which year was this?
This was around 86, 87 there.
So you were 3 years old and your parents passed on?
Yeah, I was 3 years old.
Okay. So in whose care did you stay?
There was a grandmother, my father's mother. I was supposed to stay with her. That is after the death of my dad, because there was conflict. Because when my dad died, my mom also started showing signs. My dad died with a kind of rash. That's what they told me. Rash on the skin, too many, rough skin. How AIDS used to attack people those days. Because there was no treatment, there was no cure. So in a short while, my mom was affected. So there was a conflict of families. The family of my mom saying maybe whatever happened, they chose also to kill their daughter, also something like that. So they chose to
look at it on a cultural way.
On a cultural way. So my mom had to go back home, and they left me with grandmother. But grandmother, who was not able to take care of me, so there was an uncle who was just staying close to us. So that's the one my dad had actually appointed him to take care of me, after seeing he cannot move anymore. But the guy was not ready to take me up. For him, he was just interested in what my dad had. So I just came to grow up through that life, and now I'm what I am.
So it's a miracle child. That's what I can say. So now, who then you grow into your hands of the grandmother, and then how did she take you through school?
Actually, I didn't go through the hands of the grandmother. I stayed with my grandmother for less than a year. My grandmother later died also. But
You again became...
I had to stay with that uncle who was not having any interest in staying with me, especially the wife. Because they also thought maybe on that culture where you say, they also thought maybe I was also going to die. What killed the other two children if I was born? What killed my parents is also killing me. Because even me, I was showing signs of weakness. I was very weak, very small, with diseases every now and then. Every time they were taking me to a clinic, you know that. So they said,
you are becoming a burden.
Mm-hmm. No, a curse. I can use that one. A curse. So they had given up on me actually, and because they waited for me to die, and and I could not die. I think God had a reason for that.
Miracle child.
I remember an incident where the wife to my uncle chose to throw me into a well when we had gone to fetch water. At least maybe I die, because my uncle had started, selling off my dad's property, taking it, drinking it. I don't say he had any other intentions. Because whatever you could sell, you could drink. Even reached the point of breaking down the whole house. So. But I don't blame him. Right now I say he didn't know what he was doing. Because it didn't benefit him, or his children, or anyone else in his home. So. Basically that's me. But now, I passed through that life. And I'm someone now.
So now, tell us, where is the turning point in your life? Your parents die at 3 years of age. Your grandmother dies barely time you've made 5 years. Where is your turning point?
Well,
your uncle's wife doesn't like you.
What happened? So, I fell sick. Seriously sick. But this is how God came. That's how I always take it. And actually, that's what I thought about, and I said I really belong to God. That's how God came. There was an auntie. There are two aunties actually who came to my rescue. Because they wanted to rescue what my uncle was selling of my dad. I think that my dad had left. They were trying to rescue them. Maybe if I survive, I can live on them. You understand? So, two aunties came up and started fighting with my uncle. At least leave something for me. Until I die, then they can give up. If I'm not dead, then they should not give up. By the way, I came to discover there was another brother. My dad had a son before marrying even my mom, who was staying with the mother somewhere. You understand that? So they said there are two children which this man mentioned. You cannot just sell off everything like that. So I got a serious disease amid all that conflict they were having, which I cannot explain now. I don't know what I was suffering from. So the son to my auntie came visiting that place home, and he came asking, I want to see Disan. He didn't come. It was kind of a miracle. He didn't come for anything. He simply came. I want to see Disan. And they said, Disan is not here. He went to graze goats with others in the fields. You understand? When actually me, I was inside, dying, suffering and dying. But
they didn't want to say that.
They didn't want to show me to anyone else because I was in a kind of very funny situation. So what I did, I don't know, it was not me, but I think God. I just crawled, crawling. Without any piece of cloth, without anything, I simply crawled up to the doorway of the house. Now, on crawling, because I was not strong enough, I fell over and rolled in the compound. Now, this boy looked at me and said, Disan? And he didn't add any other word. He simply took off and went back to the auntie and told my auntie, because that's what my auntie told me. And the boy came and said, he looks like a fowl, chicken, hen, suffering from coccidiosis. That's That's how my auntie came in the next morning. She said she spent the whole night praying for me, maybe to find me alive, that kind of thing. But she came in the morning, early morning, I remember it was drizzling. She picked me without any piece of cloth and threw me at the back. She said by then you could count every bone on my body. I was looking so bad. So she threw me at her back and covered me with a katenji. I don't know why I'm using that word.
Yeah.
For, with a katenje, and remember it was drizzling. But she chose to run on foot, covering me back here to the hospital. She said I spent 5 days in a clinic. Me, I don't know then. I don't remember anything about that.
How old were you then?
I don't remember where. I don't remember where. So she said I spent 5 days in a clinic, then she took me to her place. What I remember putting on a t-shirt of her last born, which was a t-shirt, a shirt from the shoulders down. I didn't have anything inside. So it was working like a shirt and a trouser and everything, because that was my first piece of cloth. So that was the turning point of my life. So there I started seeing life, suffering. I didn't know about that. I started school, P1, from there, after getting well, up to... So she took care of me from there, from P1 up to P4.
So, bye-bye.